Look, a lot of people are being harmed. Most people are being harmed. So we have two jobs. You know, the first thing is to stop the harming. And then the second is to heal those who've already been harmed, do our best to heal, right? To help and to heal. That's what my grandfather's always taught me.
So the last part, the last key to that little puzzle is that the way we transform that pain is by doing something about it. And so this is the work. And we are not only are we the generations alive today who carry the pain, we're the generations alive who also have the gift of transforming that pain and bringing this to an end.
But that had to be a lot of force. Mm-hmm. and I'm so glad that you want to do this, because I just know from the brief time that we know that you would be very, I don't know if devastated, but very concerned if you knew that babies went away thinking that can't hurt.
Right.
Because what you're doing is you're doing something life-saving. Let her, just follow her and let her do the movements. Do you want to catch her? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, she wants to catch her.
You can have your hand there, though.
So let her. It's interesting. Is that the position that she was in?
Somewhat, yeah, looking this way, actually.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
She was looking this very well.
My baby.
How about Daddy? Does Daddy need to be in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure, because we can do multiple levels of this, but this is about you, obviously. So.
She's beautiful.
Dr. Clark is going to get you in a different way. I'm so sorry. You let her come.
She always wants to do it because she's comfortable.
And she's already late.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you were stuck, but now you're not.
So Mama's gonna push a little bit.
You and Mommy can work together.
Okay.
Follow her because she wants to move. She has to. I know, it was a struggle. I see your arm there.
Her arm, we had a feeling in her hand.
Yeah. And it's okay, it's okay for him to talk. That's how. Scary. We've got you. Want to sing your song, Dad? Wait, she's not out. What? She's not out. Let her, she needs to keep going. She needs to hear your song.
Hear his song.
Her song. She needs to hear your song. Work with it.
Yes, we do. We do.
Goes right up to Mama.
She's gonna curl to this one, I think.
Yeah, they always crawl to the left one first.
She did that on her own and flipped. You gonna curl to it? Let me help you just a little.
She still has something to say about it. That was so much easier that time. You got to move the way you wanted to.
You're here, you're outside of the mama now. Look, you're so beautiful.
I think that's that paging. You have to go administer a test.
Oh, joy.
But if you need anything, if you wanted to ask any other questions and to do any interview, I'd be happy to be present.
I'd love to.
Thank
Thank you so
somebody knows
much.
when you said she's not done, and then we didn't make her turn like that. She turned over.
Yeah, we're just following her. Isn't the wisdom and the knowledge of a newborn
Yeah.
More than any of us.
Did you ever know that she knew so much?
Right. It's incredible. especially
This was a little
especially
faster.
their ability to root like that.
This is a
Know
little
where to go.
faster. Usually we would go slower, and she and her would be able to connect in around those stuck places. But this was wonderful.
Yeah.
I didn't What was that?
Yeah, I would be scared.
That it was scared.
I think everybody gets scared.
Were you
Yeah.
scared?
Different.
Well, see, watching
What
these
you
folks
need.
was reassuring for me. Because I would keep panning you guys, and you guys like had been through this a ton of times, and I would feel okay, everything's fine. I mean, I would like feel like scared, but then I would look back at them. It's like, okay, they're not scared, so so that would give me. I think that's why my fear was punctuate. It wasn't like I'm like living in fear. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, what does this feel? Then I would be reassured when I looked at those folks.
Right, and it's like the birth, labor starting, yeah. I'm not sure what you're saying. I've had this flash of though.
Do you want to touch your head again?
What was hard for me was knowing and not being able to speak up. And I'm a silent witness at the birth. So did you... I'm not sure if I should have said, hey, Elizabeth.
It looks like he's trying to.
Like in the perfect world, but this world that we experienced was so much more perfect than most anybody else experienced and I've ever experienced. So for me, it's like, I'm content.
May I respond to that?
Absolutely, yeah.
I would like to say, well, I'm glad, but I would like to say that from my perspective, what we were talking about is like, that I apologize that in that moment when I saw that look on your face trying to figure it out, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to support you because you looked up to me and I...
I forgive you, but I've never held you responsible.
And in that moment, it was kind of crucial at that moment. From where I was, I wasn't able to interject at that point. It just wasn't appropriate. So it wasn't appropriate for me to do it logistically, and because of the very moment it was, and at the same time, looking back at the film over and over, I think, gosh, you need somebody to say, hey, it's,
Hey, we're cool.
is,
Yeah. Wait, that's
and
what's so funny.
she's okay, and we're doing a tough job because he's trying to read all the body language. And
What's so funny though is because when I watch that, it reminds me of like, oh my gosh, that was at that moment, because it's like I changed it after that time. After the baby's born healthy and everything's good, it's like it changed my whole experience of the past. Because now, in the present, everything's healthy and everything's fine, so all those, my worries were unfounded. I mean, in the reality of how things unfold, it's like, it's okay. I mean, if you know in the future things are going to be okay, it's easy to release your fears. And so for me, it's interesting as things unfolded, it's like I remember it differently. Like when I talk about it, I don't talk about being afraid. I talk about how awesome it was. It isn't until I watch the video, go, oh yeah, I was afraid. So it's like I rewrote history for myself based on how things unfolded.
And so I wish that I had seen and been able to register your concern and been able to respond to it more completely. Because as I was watching it, I realized, gosh, all Dee Dee and I needed to be reassured was just 3 or 4 beats at a regular, at a nicer rate. Because our minds do something with that, you know, that, oh, well, that's not placental insufficiency then, and we're gonna be juicy. This is gonna be fine. But it took many more minutes for the fear to come off of your face, and I realized, gosh, it's so easy. It didn't take much to make my heart rate go back down, but it would have taken more to bring yours down. And I'm sorry you didn't get it, because it's hard for me to be in some place other than just in my own space when we have a baby just about to come out.
Yeah, for me it's when things have such a happy ending, it's, I mean, that's, for me, that's just like nothing to hang on to there. I mean, if things would have spiraled out of control into like a really, you know, if we weren't in this situation we were today, I would probably remember and experience that whole thing very different than I do. But because it unfolds in a really, really positive way, it's just part of the journey for me, you know?
Well, this isn't to diminish how wonderful it was. This is to, the intention is to acknowledge what all was going on around so that the little one doesn't have to carry that. Because nobody, we need to differentiate our feelings and our emotions so that the baby knows, oh, that's not me. Because babies are just sensory sponges. So he could.
What's interesting is like, because this whole experience, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Like figure out, okay, I just figured it out. And for me, sometimes it's easier to say, okay, this is the format, guys.
Okay.
So if I understand this correctly,
yeah.
Okay, Big Phoenix. Phoenix.
He's listening.
He's listening. Yeah.
I was really scared for a little while there, you know. I was very scared because I thought things might not be going so good. And there was some different things happening, and I was very scared. And I'm glad that things worked out really good, but it is quite possible, I understand, that you may have felt my fear while you were in Mommy's tummy, and when you came out you might have felt my fear and my uncertainty as to what was going on and if things were going to be okay. And so I just want you to know that that was my fear and my uncertainty, and you don't need to own that, because that was mine. And I'm glad things worked out, baby.
Oh, it was an awesome birth.
That's an awesome.
It was awesome. An awesome baby.
Hey, in Phoenix, your whole life, buddy, if you got something that comes up about things in your nose or your mouth and you want to talk to me about it, your mom and daddy probably always have my number. You just call me up and say, hey, lady, I got something to talk to you about. Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Tell me what.